Okay, this is the story of how I got the job I never applied for. So, um, starting in January, I was in an accident on my scooter, and the result of that was when I went back to work, I had no way to get to work except by taxi and through the kind, loving, wonderful, big hearts of the people colleagues who would shuttle me back and forth every now and then whenever they could. You guys are all wonderful. You know who you are, Estrella and Jancy and everybody. And Hallie too. And so because of that, I would go to work early in the morning, 7 o'clock for morning care, and I'd be done at 8 until aftercare, which is at 3. So I could go home. I would sit at the front, and while I'm sitting there, the principals are both out there too because I'm waiting for my taxi, and they are greeting students as they come in, like all the little kids. And usually when they come in, they're sitting there, they're saying hi, and if I know them, I'll be like, hey, have a nice day, don't pick your nose, do good and stuff like that. Just anything to make them smile. And because of that, I started to gain a rapport with them. Also, truthfully, I had seen them before, but I had no idea if they knew who I was. I didn't realize that they knew who I was because they were concerned about me after the accident. They were saying they were praying for me, which is nice. And even I kind of wasn't sure, like I wasn't as close to them. So it gave me a chance to talk to them, get to know them. And they're really cool. I'd talk to them in the mornings before I'd go back home. And at this point in time, I had been really worried about getting a job. Not worried. Since the accident, I've been praying a lot more. So, which is why I count the accident as a blessing. I've been really giving everything to God, just realizing that God does take care of everything, and He has. And I'd been praying about it, and I had applied everywhere. The reason I have been looking for a job is because I have graduated, but I have not graduated. I need to take my praxis in order to be a actual complete graduate, and I don't have the money. It's kind of expensive to take both tests, so I had been looking for that. And also extended care pay is, while the job is wonderful and they pay me as much as I can and what's fair, it doesn't quite cover all of rent, and it definitely wouldn't cover praxis as well. So I was looking for another job. I looked at Walmart. I looked at Food Lion. I everywhere. I applied everywhere. I had been typing in my name, pasting resumes, and like giving references over and over and over and over and over. And I was finally at my most despondent, or not even despondent, just blown, when I applied at McDonald's, and McDonald's wouldn't hire me. Yeah. Who can't get a job at McDonald's? It's me. So that wasn't particularly a fun realization for the moment, but I was just praying, and I was like, God, whatever you want for me, I pray that you give it to me. Lord, I pray not for a job with tons of money, but I pray for enough. Whatever you want me to do, Lord, I pray that you give it to me. If you want me to live in this apartment, be able to pay for this apartment, I pray that you provide for me. If you want me to take my praxis, I pray that you provide. If you want me to have a car, I pray that you provide. If you don't want me to have any of these, I pray that you give me the strength and you give me the peace to live without. And I resigned myself to that, maybe I'll have to go without on some things. And that's not the worst thing in the world. Waking up in the hospital, not realizing who you were, where you are, and seeing your family get so distraught, that sucks. There are things worse than the other things that plague us, Oh yeah, and if you want to help me pay for my hospital bills, that's still a prayer in progress too. And that Sunday after the whole McDonald's debacle, I was just getting ready for work the next day and I got a call like around 5 or 6 in the evening, and one of the fourth grade teachers, Miss Oxford, was calling me, and she said, "Hi, I teach the fifth grade." Sorry, I said fourth. I teach the fifth grade, and my aide is out for the day, and I was wondering if you could substitute for her. And I was just like, "What?" Because I was thinking, I need the money for rent soon. This is just what I need. And I was just like, what? Yes, of course I'll sub for her. This is that would be fantastic, Because with morning care, after care, and subbing in the middle, it's beautiful. That would definitely work. And she's all like, "Great, then I'll see you tomorrow." And I was like, "Yeah, wait, what? Wait, so how did you even get my number? How is this happening right now?" And because, mind you, I didn't apply for the substitute job because, I don't know. And she's like, "Well, I was talking to Miss Baker, the lower school principal, and she had suggested you and given me your number." I'm just like, "What?" Okay, wow, that's fantastic. And I did it, and I liked it. I was still just like, I can't believe I didn't apply for this, and I'm working. This is fantastic. And I talked to Miss Baker later that day because I call her to tell her about something else. And of course, I had to thank her for just suggesting me because, of course, I needed it. And I am still grateful that she did. And I was talking to her, and I had mentioned how, it's great because, I have my degree, but I still need to take my practice and stuff. And she's like, "Oh, so you have your degree. Well, you know what? How we have a long-term substitute position coming up. How would you feel about interviewing for it? Actually, you know what? I would want you to come interview for it." And I was just like, "What? Are you really?" And she's like, "Yeah, you know what? Just if tomorrow's good for you, come in tomorrow, and I can meet with you, and we can interview." And I was just like, "Sure, yeah, okay." And it was crazy because I'd called her that afternoon, and I'd still have to go to work that day. I would come home, have to eat, work out, wake up early in the morning again, go to work, and then go straight to have the interview right after. I didn't have time to get anything together. I didn't have time to put my portfolio together, to iron my clothes, to just, oh my goodness, I was a mess. And I felt a mess when I had the interview, because my clothes seemed wrinkly to me. The whole time during that interview, I had my portfolio together, actually, with my resume. I held my portfolio in my lap the entire time. My resumes were in there, but I just I held on to it like this, and I was sort of just sitting like this with it in my lap, just like, yeah, 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 yeah. But overall, we had a nice discussion. I like talking to people, and it was nice. But I have no gauge on these things. I could have an hour-long conversation with someone and not realize that they hate my guts. It's a problem, but kind of also blissful. But I had no idea how it went, and I was just praying about it. And also, it's scary because, truthfully, even if I had just seen the position, I would not have applied for it, given the chance. Because she only told me about the position, what it entailed when I got there. I am trained to work with high schoolers, middle schoolers, and only in English. This position is 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade. Reading, I can do, and science. Oh my gosh, I was just I would never have thought of it, but I got the job. She called me, and I got the job. And I had been working with the teacher who's leaving, Miss Render, a wonderful woman, God-fearing, very sweet, very hardworking. And she'd been preparing me, and by the grace of God, I think it could be done. I'm nervous, of course, but if God gives me something, I did not ask for this job. I did not ask for this specific job. But God gave it to me. I didn't apply. There was no application written. There was specifically events lining up in order for this to happen. And I don't believe in coincidence. We serve a God who jumps over all of our expectations and gives us what we need. And so if he gave this position to me to be done, he expects me to be able to do it. Oh, I could do it. If God wants me to do this, I can do it. If God needs me there to help somebody, I pray that my heart can be open enough to see who needs to be helped and how they need to be helped. And God gives everything that you need. He doesn't give you more than you need. He doesn't give you less than you need. He gives you exactly the right amount. And this is not the first time it's happened. Let it be known that this was my story of this one particular time in my life. Not everyone will believe it to be, providence, but I do. And I trust that everything will work out exactly the way God wanted. If it ends up being chaotic, you can learn from chaos. You can learn from mistakes. You can learn from disaster. And God puts everything in our life in order so that we could learn and so we could grow closer to Him. And I'm thankful. And I hope if anybody does see this, it's a testimony. And I hope that they're encouraged. I hope that people pray and put their trust and hope in God and just test to see what He wants. Don't put yourself somewhere and say, hey, God, do you like this? You like where I am? But let's try to just stop, wait, listen, and go where we think God wants us to go. Not asking if where we are is okay, but going where He wants us to go. This is gonna get trolled a lot. Sorry. All right. See you guys.